Imagine standing under a night sky, staring at the vastness above you. Billions of stars, galaxies, and celestial wonders stretch endlessly into the cosmos. It all seems infinite, eternal. But what if I told you that everything you see, the stars, the galaxies, even space itself, will not last forever? The universe had a beginning, the Big Bang. But like all things, it must also have an end. The question is, how will the cosmos collapse in on itself, erasing everything in a cataclysmic implosion? Will it keep expanding until it rips apart at the seams, or will it simply fade into an eternal abyss of cold, lifeless darkness? Scientists and physicists have spent decades unraveling this mystery, and what they've discovered is both fascinating and terrifying. Today we're diving deep into 5 mind-blowing theories about the fate of the universe. Some of them are strange, some are outright disturbing, but each one is a possibility. The Big Crunch, a cosmic collapse. To understand this theory, let's go back to the Big Bang. About 13.8 billion years ago, our universe was born from an incredibly hot, dense point, a singularity. In an instant, it exploded outward, giving birth to everything we see today. Since then, the universe has been expanding. Galaxies are moving away from each other, and space itself is stretching. But will this expansion go on forever? According to the Big Crunch theory, the answer is no. Imagine you're throwing a ball into the air. It rises, but eventually gravity slows it down, and then it falls back to the ground. This theory suggests that something similar could happen to the universe. Right now, gravity is fighting against expansion, and if gravity wins, the universe's expansion will eventually slow down, stop, and reverse. At first, it would happen slowly. Galaxies would start drifting closer together. Then, over billions of years, the entire cosmos would begin contracting. Stars would collide. Planets would spiral inward and be consumed by black holes. The temperature of the universe would rise dramatically as everything compresses into an incredibly hot, dense state. Eventually, everything, galaxies, stars, even space itself, would collapse into a singularity, the same way it all began. A reverse Big Bang. But here's the mind-blowing part. Some physicists believe that this singularity could trigger another Big Bang, creating a new universe. If this theory is true, it means that the cosmos has been dying and being reborn in an endless cycle, an eternal loop of expansion, collapse, and rebirth. But is this really how the universe will end? Well, not everyone agrees. Some scientists believe the exact opposite will happen. Not a collapse, but an unstoppable expansion that eventually tears everything apart. The Big Rip, the universe torn apart. Imagine you're holding a rubber band. As you stretch it, it gets thinner, weaker. Now imagine you keep stretching it until eventually it snaps. Some scientists believe that the same thing could happen to the universe. We know that the universe is expanding. Galaxies are moving away from each other. But here's the shocking part. This expansion is accelerating. It's not slowing down, it's speeding up. Why? Because of a mysterious force known as dark energy. Dark energy is like an invisible force pushing the universe apart. But what if this force keeps getting stronger? What if, in the distant future, dark energy becomes so powerful that it rips everything apart? This is the terrifying idea behind the Big Rip theory. Here's how it would happen. First, galaxies would be torn away from each other. Right now, gravity holds galaxies together in clusters, but as dark energy strengthens, even that won't be enough. The Milky Way and Andromeda, which are expected to collide in about 4 billion years, might never even reach that point because the universe will be expanding too fast. Then, solar systems would fall apart. The force holding the planets in orbit around stars would weaken, planets would drift away. Our own sun might become completely isolated, floating alone in the void. Next, individual stars would be destroyed. Their atoms would be ripped apart, unable to hold together. The universe would become a place of total chaos, where even the fundamental forces of nature start to break down. Finally, even atoms themselves wouldn't survive. The basic building blocks of reality, protons, neutrons, and electrons would be stretched and shredded. In the final moments, the very fabric of space-time would be torn apart. The result? Absolute nothingness. No stars, no galaxies, no light. Just a dark, empty void stretching forever. But here's the big question. Will dark energy actually become powerful enough to cause the Big Rip? Right now, scientists aren't sure. The fate of the universe depends on the nature of dark energy, and that's something we still don't fully understand. But what if the universe doesn't collapse or tear apart? What if instead it simply fades away into eternal darkness? The Big Freeze, a universe that slowly dies. If the Big Crunch is a fiery collapse and the Big Rip is a violent shredding, then the Big Freeze is a slow, cold and silent death. No explosions, no dramatic destruction, just an endless fading away. To understand this theory, think about a cup of hot coffee left on a table. Over time, it loses heat and cools down to room temperature. This happens because heat naturally spreads out in a process called entropy, the tendency of energy to become more evenly distributed. Now, apply this idea to the entire universe. Right now, stars are burning brightly, galaxies are active, and black holes are consuming matter. But over trillions of years, all of that will change. Energy will spread out, and the universe will slowly run out of usable heat. Here's how it would happen. Stars will die. Right now, new stars are forming from collapsing clouds of gas. But eventually the universe will run out of gas to make new stars. The last stars will shine for trillions of years before cooling down and fading away. Galaxies will become dark. Without new stars, galaxies will turn into cold, lifeless collections of dead stars and black holes. The beautiful, glowing spiral. Arms of galaxies like our Milky Way will disappear. Black holes will take over. As stars and planets die, black holes will dominate the universe. But even black holes don't last forever. Over an unimaginable timescale, they will slowly evaporate due to a process called Hawking radiation, releasing their energy into space. Atoms will decay. Even the most stable elements, like iron, might eventually break apart due to quantum processes. At this point, the universe will contain only scattered particles, drifting endlessly in a cold, empty void. The final stage, a universe at absolute zero. There will be no heat left, no energy to create movement or change. Space will be a dark, lifeless expanse, stretching infinitely in all directions. Time itself might become meaningless because nothing will ever happen again. This is called the heat death of the universe, an eternity of cold, motionless emptiness. It's a haunting thought, a universe where nothing ever happens again. No more light, no more galaxies, no more life. But what if there was a way to restart the universe? What if, instead of ending, the universe bounced back into a new cycle? The Big Bounce, a reborn universe? While the Big Crunch suggests a collapse, and the Big Freeze suggests an endless death, the Big Bounce proposes something different, a rebirth. Instead of a single beginning and end, this theory suggests that the universe expands and contracts in cycles, an eternal loop of destruction and creation. Here's how it works. The universe starts with a Big Bang, just like in our current model. It expands for billions of years, forming galaxies, stars, and planets. But instead of expanding forever, the universe stops and contracts, just like in the Big Crunch. Eventually, it collapses into a singularity. But instead of disappearing, it explodes outward again, creating a new Big Bang and a brand new universe. This cycle repeats forever, a never-ending loop of universes being born, expanding, dying, and being reborn. If this theory is true, it means we are living in just one phase of an eternal cosmic cycle. The universe has ended before, and it will be reborn again. But here's the catch. Right now, there's no solid evidence that this is happening. The key factor is dark energy. If dark energy keeps accelerating expansion, a bounce won't be possible. Instead, we'd face either a Big Rip or a Big Freeze. But if dark energy slows down or reverses, a big bounce could be our future. Still, there's one last theory that's even stranger. What if the universe never truly ends, but instead evolves into something we can't even comprehend? The false vacuum. A universe that could vanish instantly. Imagine waking up one morning, sipping your coffee and looking at the sky, when suddenly the entire universe ceases to exist. No warning, no sign, just gone. This might sound like science fiction, but it's actually a possibility according to quantum physics. This theory is called the false vacuum decay, and it suggests that the universe isn't as stable as we think. To understand this, we need to talk about something called the vacuum state. In simple terms, a vacuum is empty space. But in physics, even empty space has energy levels. Right now, our universe exists in what scientists call a false vacuum, meaning it might not be in its lowest possible energy state. If this is true, then somewhere in the vastness of space, a tiny quantum fluctuation could trigger a catastrophic event. This would create a bubble of true vacuum, a region where the universe has shifted to a lower energy state. The problem? This bubble would expand at the speed of light, destroying everything in its path instantly. Inside the bubble, the laws of physics as we know them wouldn't exist anymore. Atoms wouldn't hold together. Stars, planets, and even black holes would dissolve into nothingness. And because it moves at the speed of light, we wouldn't see it coming. One moment we'd exist and the next and we wouldn't. Terrifying, right? But here's the catch. If this theory is correct, the vacuum decay could happen at any time, or it might never happen at all. Some physicists believe our universe is already in a stable state, meaning we're safe. But others think we're just waiting for a random quantum event to erase everything. So what does this all mean? How will the universe really end? We've explored 5 possible fates for the universe. The Big Crunch, a cosmic collapse back into a singularity. The Big Rip, dark energy tears everything apart. The Big Freeze, the universe dies slowly as stars go out. The Big Bounce, a cycle of endless destruction and rebirth. Vacuum decay, a sudden and instant quantum catastrophe. But which one is correct? Right now, we don't know for sure. The universe is still. Expanding dark energy is still a mystery, and quantum physics is still full of surprises. But one thing is certain, our universe will not last forever. Yet there's something poetic about that, isn't there? Everything we know, every star, every planet, every civilization, exists in a fleeting moment of cosmic history. And maybe that's what makes it all so special. So what do you think? Which theory do you believe is the most likely? Or do you think there's another possibility we haven't even imagined yet? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into the ultimate fate of the universe, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more mind-blowing cosmic mysteries.